I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I'm just starting off this second tape, and I'm not going to go back and, if anybody wants to hear, they can go back and view the video. This was some of the mind control murders that were done, and I will say that, and this is, I found out in 83, my real name. I'd been kidnapped from Buckingham Palace. This is my dad, Edward VIII, who was forced out with lies. He never married Wallace Simpson. That was a double that married Wallace Simpson. Became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. And this is my aunt, Georgia O'Keefe. She's an artist from Madison, Wisconsin. My mother, Claudia O'Keefe, was married to my father. Not this American spy and a double. And my uncle George VI helped in my kidnapping and became the illegal George VI. President Roosevelt and the Illuminati or Freemasons orchestrated the takedown of my father and kidnapping me. And I wrote about mind control murders. I had worked for doctors 76 till April 1st of 80 when I had antifreeze put in me. But let me say this, they've gone after my brain. Larry Flint, this was ongoing. There are other atrocities I wish this world would have to look at and view and see if they think that's graphic, because they're focusing on ISIS. And the United States is made to look like they're going in to help when they're the bloodiest killers ever walked the face of this planet. Larry Flint was shot. I don't know if I said that on this one. He, the guy that was programmed to shoot him and kill his attorney in Lawrenceville, Georgia. This is where he wrote me up and said I knew who was responsible for his shooting in March the 6th of 78 in Lawrenceville. And I was flown out to his home when the doctor here, Larry McDonald plane went down. The Russians shot it down when it veered into the airspace August the 31st of 83. Now then, these are mind control murders. I'm just showing you they've continued. They were deliberately done in patterns. Some of these were and can be proven. He's finished school at Virginia Tech, and he's a psychiatrist, by the way, and he's the Fort Hood shooter. He's under mind control. Timothy McVeigh tried to tell everybody that U.S. Army implanted a chip up his buttocks, and he was programmed, and he paid a price for being programmed by the Oklahoma City bombing, was put to death. Now, this is Ian Zoring, a diplomat's son, and this murders were next door in Bedford. And it was, they were done the 1st of April of 85 or the last day of March of 85. And everybody around here knew that there was programming, that there were mind control. They're in prison here for the murder of her parents, Elizabeth and Derek Haysom. And the butcher knife was used in it to sever the head. What I wanted to say here was also is I've done nothing wrong. I've told about these murders, and then I found out about my kidnapping and the real reason things were done to me. And I never suffered from anything but being falsely accused of an illness by this American government. And Hyman Miller, a Jew, back in in 62 on for a while. And then I was turned over to Victor Gonzalez, who was at Redstone Arsenal, Huntsville then. And by the way, he was at JFK. JFK's father and JFK was flown in there, helped kidnap me and bring me to Moulton, Alabama. His father, Joseph, was appointed ambassador to England during that time and helped with my kidnapping. Now I wanted to get to this. Berg, who was Jew, anesthesiologist, helped Dr. Hyman Miller. His wife was a German Jew, and they wrote her up. She lived in Jones Valley. They did beautiful homes. You should see what I've been kept in. A couple of times I had decent homes. The rest of the time it was hell. I want to get to in the shock. I didn't suffer from mental illness. I suffered from a misdiagnosis and being prescribed drugs that are enough to kill you. Cicanel, Meloril, Thorazine, trying to work. You don't see a bit of the truth. And I can remember the one show of compassion, if that was it, that Hyman Miller, when they were putting me under to give me shock, I was actually taken to his office and given shock about twice a week. About 3 different times I was locked up illegally. Illegally, I wasn't suffering from anything but being given psychotic drugs and diagnosed with a non-existent illness, which is all, it was, let's put it this way. He's a Jew, he was following orders, and he knew my real name and what they were doing to me. So try that one on for size. See what it does to your brain and your relationship with your children. And then to find out what was done to my children is beyond belief. And I want to say this, Al Platt was another Jew. And my husband worked for Fisher Body in Atlanta. My husband had links to the CIA. He worked for the space program, etc. He was working for Fisher Body, which is a division of General Motors back then when Martin was born. August the 18th of 1959. Mark is heir to the crown after me. And this is why it was done. And there's different ways, like I'm saying, to behead someone. And I'll let you use your imagination on this. They didn't accomplish it, but they mutilated him, and then later, as far as I know, he was okay. And I have not told this because that's a person's manhood, and look what it would do to them. I mean, you can't parade around like William Windsor Mountbatten, who's the illegal heir to a crown. He's not married to... Well, you know who he's married to. Anyway, I was at Baptist Hospital having Mark, and you had to go walk to the bathroom then, and I heard this blood-curdling scream, and I thought, my God, I knew that was my baby. They were doing this to him. They were circumcising him and trying to kill him so he couldn't reproduce. Al Platt, the Jew that my husband worked for at Fisher Body, the only flowers I got were from him and his wife, and that looks like this nice thing, right? It had boxing gloves, and it was sent to Mark. And all this mess later has become symbolism. And if you try to tell it just one instance, somebody can say, well, you're making too much out of it. I look back, and Al Platt, the Jew, with other things he did, was saying to me and my son, you're going to have to fight for the rest of your life for what's yours, and against being murdered and assaulted. So really, I said that about Honey Boo Boo's mother. She's on Dr. Phil today, and she allowed the molester to come back and I guess date her. It was Honey Boo Boo's sister, and they were talking about it today, and Dr. Phil said, and these are my words, I couldn't have made any of this up. There's documents to where I worked, to what they did to me is on insurance, and they can't hide that. I don't think they can shred it and destroy it. All along the way, there's paper trails because it happened. I worked for the district attorney in Huntsville in 80 after the antifreeze was put in me. So I want to read what Honey Boo Boo's what Dr. Phil said, that there's no way that her daughter could have made it up, that what happened, unless it actually happened to her. And that's what was said there. Yet when because of the graphic, it's me that was kidnapped, who I am, I'm the legal monarch, and the ongoing murder of me, not just the antifreeze, not just the illegal shock. There's different ways to behead someone, and you got the American press that I have told, they know all this. They knew about my kidnapping before I did in 83, and they've hid it, and the mind control murders that I've told about,